Photoshop, I think we'd all agree, is a visual program. I got a photograph of some flowers up here, and I've got that almost like eggshell appearance of the flowers with the sunlight coming through them. Nice and pretty. I would like, as much as possible, to have that image printed and look the way I see it on my really nice monitor, or maybe in a newspaper, or maybe on a website, or maybe in a PDF document. I want it to look the same. Now, how many of you, myself included, and I've done this, but how many of you have basically done a print and not really been that happy with it? The colors have shifted. What we need to do is understand that Photoshop can really help us out in this area to get consistency in workflow from what we see here to what we're going to get in something else. And it's called color settings. So go up to the word edit on the pull-down menu and go way down, down, down to color settings right here. Now there is, I will admit, a whole lot more to getting good color from an output device than just clicking a button. The type of paper that you use. You might go to the store and buy a different photo paper and it would change everything. So there's testing, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we start here. We will get into more detail on exactly why we choose some of our options when we get into the chapters on color. But let's get it set up. You will notice we have a settings button up here. If I click that button, I've got several different things. You have these, but you probably don't have that one. You might, but you probably don't. That's a settings file for my 8500A Pro HP. How'd I get it? Well, it came on the CD that came with the printer, and I loaded the CD, and I noticed it was there. I then clicked the load button over here, found it, and loaded it. What does it do? Well, it looks at that printer, how it handles ink, how it puts it onto the paper, and does the best job it can to show me this down here. You might be surprised if you go out to like HP.com and Epson.com and Canon.com and look for, you might find a color settings file that you can use, and believe me, they're good. You say, well, okay, I don't have that. What else is left? Well, we all have these. North America. You say, Andy, I don't live in North America. That's nice for you. Well, let me do this. Click more options over here. If you click here again, you see Europe and Japan. If I'm going out to newspaper, I might select this one. If I'm going out to the web or the internet, I might select this one. If I'm going out to my HP, I'll select this one. When I'm working on the image, I make the settings changes here. You say, well, what if you don't want to constantly make a change? Is there one up there that will just kind of do it for me most of the time, and maybe if I'm not happy, I'll make a change? That would be general purpose 2, either North America, Europe, or Japan. Use that one, and I'm not saying set it and forget it, but you can probably set it and just about forget it. And every once in a while, you might want to make a change. But color settings are an important thing to set up because they give you a communication link between what you see in Photoshop and what you're going to get on that printer. But again, remember what I said. There's a lot of other things going on here. The type of inks you use, the type of papers you're using, the way you've calibrated your monitor for color. There's a lot of other things going on in the background. But if you get that workflow going, and we'll talk more about workflow in the chapter on color, you can really have the possibility of what you see is what you get. So what we've done here is effectively synchronized Photoshop to whatever output device that we want to use. But what if you have other family members like Adobe Illustrator? How about InDesign? I love both of those programs. Do they have an area like this? Yes, they do. Could I set it up differently, I guess? Like maybe put one at General Purpose 2 and one at Newsprint? Actually, you could. Is there a way to sync all my programs so they're all communicating the same way without going to each one at a time? Yes, there is. That's in Bridge. And we'll talk about synchronization of all your apps in Bridge when we get to that chapter. Well, that's about it. Make sure if you've made changes, you click OK. And you are now ready in Photoshop to communicate with your output device, color settings.